Now in this final tutorial, I'm going to go over creating a new JavaScript file and then making the code a little bit better. So I can't really explain that right now, but I'll show you guys what I mean. So the first thing that I forgot to go over in the last tutorial was the ID for the object ID here. So basically that has to be very specific. So every time that you use that, that needs to be specific to itself. So I just appended some numbers on the end of these so that they are specific to that specific statement. So the next part of what we're going to do is we are going to create a new JavaScript file. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to name this xapi.js. And that might be confusing, so you can name it really whatever you want. And then everything here that's in between our script tags here, I'm going to move over into our new file. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then what I can do is just use these tags here for attaching our new script. Oops. So actually, I might move all of these over. And then move this over. And so I'm going to paste that into here. So we've got everything in here. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then I am going to put our new script in here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Oops. Call it xapi.js, and it's in our main folder there, so we don't have to worry about writing anything after that. So you can see here we have on-click sending statements. Something else that we probably want to do is add the jQuery CDN up here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that and pause the video for a second. In the next part of this, we'll add the jQuery script or jQuery library onto our document. So that's going to make everything work together. And then I'm just going to add this at the top here because we need this before our xapi.js script. And then I'm going to take everything here and we're going to be loading this from the bottom of the document. So I'm just going to place it at the bottom here. Now the next step is we are going to write our on-click jQuery. So basically what's going to happen is we don't want to have all of this, all of our script down here because it's really hard to read and it would be hard to look through the whole document if we have a ton of these on there. So I'm going to happen to write that within this JavaScript here file so that it's easier to read. All right, so now we need to add IDs to our buttons so that our jQuery knows which button we're telling it to send the statement to the LRS from. So I'm going to give this one an ID and we'll just say that button. And then I'm going to give this one its own unique ID and I'll just call it that button too, which is not really great naming, but they're different. All right, so then in the xapi.js, what we're going to do is write a function. So as you can see, I already wrote the function here, but I'm just going to go ahead and write it from scratch so you can see what that will look like. I ran into a bit of an issue because I forgot to put the # for the ID, so I was just trying to troubleshoot that. So I'm going to go ahead and write. So basically what I'm writing right now is some jQuery that says when our document is ready, so when the document is ready to execute all of this JavaScript, it's going to do some stuff that we want it to do. So, oops, I got to put my parentheses around this. That's an issue. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to say function, and oops, spacing matters, just so you know. So let's do that. And then within this, this is where I'm going to execute our xAPI statements. So let's see, I just want to add some comments, send our statements. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that, just easier for me to read personally here. And then the jQuery for that. So I want to say, so this is where I forgot to, this is where I messed up before. So I need to say pound because pound means ID. And so I'm saying that button because that's what we named our first one there. And so I'm saying that button when we click on it, because I'm going to say click here. Oops, if I can spell right. I'm going to, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Oh, all right. And then I'm going to say function here as well. Oops. Okay. It's getting towards the end of the day. That's what happens here. So I've got that. And we've got to close all these guys out as well. So what I am going to do is, because we have these open ones, we need to make sure that they're closed. So just going through and making sure that one's closed. What do we got? We got this one here. That one's closed. Okay, cool. So what we need to do is add what we have in the index file into here. So this first one, we want to grab from the send statement, because that's what we're calling it, all the way to the end here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And then I'm going to place that in here because on click we want that to send. And I wrongly forgot to put a semicolon at the end of that. So let's do that because that's also best practice here. So I'm saying when our document is ready, we want to fire off this on click. So once the document is ready to take our JavaScript, we can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to save that, and let's hope that this works and I didn't screw anything up. All right, so we've got our first button here. That's what we're trying it on. So I'm going to click send statement. Okay, that's a good sign. So let's hope that it shows up. Yay, okay. But did I click it twice? That's a good question. Let's see. I may have had a heavy trigger finger there. So all right, cool. So it seems like it works, but it seems like it's sending it twice. So I need to investigate that because I think what is happening is it's sending for the on document ready and it's sending for the on click, which we do not want that at all. So I'm going to take a moment to troubleshoot that. Oh gosh, okay, so that's totally my bad. It's not about the about it executing twice on document ready. So silly me, it's been a long day. So I have this on here as well as on in the jQuery. So what I want to do is just remove this whole on click here because we no longer need it. And then I just want to make sure that this is also working from our regular file. All right, so then I'm going to click send statements, make sure it's only coming up once now. Just playing a waiting game. Okay, cool. So that worked. Now, if I want to do the same thing with this one, I'm basically going to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy this. Oops, copy the whole thing. This is probably painful to watch. And then I'm going to get rid of this here. Okay. And then I want to do the same thing with another button. So let's go ahead and do this in a very silly way, which I'm going to put that around. And so I need to also close this one off, and this is like super not a great way of writing. Okay. So now let's push this little guy out here. Now I don't have anything in here any longer. We just have our IDs. And then we have our statements in here. Oh, and I got to name this one too, because that's number 2. And so we should be able to send statements for both of those. Okay. And I could have just done something like console log to be sure that they're working, but this is just a quick and dirty way of doing it. So we can see both of our buttons there are working. So really, if you do a Google search for DOM events, you can track, you can use XAPI and basically like anything that is a DOM event. So that means what we did was on click. You can do on keys, pressing down. You can do when someone closes out of a window. You can do on a bajillion things you can track. But obviously you want to make sure it's something that you do want to track. You're not just getting data for data. You want to have some kind of maybe like business reason behind it. But I'll let you go through and look up all these. So just once you have this document, it's really easy. All you have to do is write these events here and basically create whatever you want your statement to send. So it's pretty simple and easy, and I just wanted to give you guys another way